it looks like Al Ettifaq might be trying to double down on the Liverpool link, or the former Liverpool players link. There's been talk of them looking for Matip and Thiago to come over and join the, well, I hasten to use the word Stephen Gerrard revolution, because a revolution would usually involve you winning a few games of football, but there's been talk that maybe they're going to go over there. But on Saudi, while I'm kind of rambling on about Saudi a bit, I wanted to bring something to you guys that I read last night, and I wanted to just tell you why I think it doesn't make any sense. So the Daily Mail put a headline out and said, Saudi Arabia is set to launch a fresh raid on world football and will scour the planet for some of its best young talent, with cash-rich Pro League clubs to increase the number of overseas players permitted in the competition from 8 to 10. So on the face of it, you'll probably think to yourself, that makes sense. Saudi going over to Europe, getting the young players, bringing them back to Saudi to grow the league. Here's the problem though. There's a flaw with that plan, in my opinion. Nobody will know who the hell they are when they go to Saudi. And they won't be able to really develop themselves as superstars in Saudi, because nobody gives a damn about the Saudi Pro League in Europe. So I see a big flaw in this plan being, great, if you're a young player now, let's say you had a son who's 21 years of age, and your son was a hot prospect in world football. Are you going to send your son over to Saudi to play in a league that nobody watches? Or are you going to send your son to one of the big European clubs where your son will develop, become a superstar, and play football at the highest level week in and week out? You're only going to attract the type of people who are on a money grab, and they're not the type of personalities long term I think you want playing in a league. So I don't think that makes any sense, what Saudi are trying to do there. And I just think that it's doomed to fail. I just don't see that Saudi Pro League working for various reasons. You're either ever going to get people at either end of their careers. The very start who are on a money grab, or the very end who want a pension. That's it. You're not going to get players who actually have ambition to do stuff playing in the Saudi Pro League. You're just not. No matter how much money you offer, playing in front of 300, 400, 500 people is not going to be what kids dreamed about growing up playing football. So I think this is just going to be another, and people will keep telling us that they're going to, they've long-term visions. I don't care. It's not going to work. Culturally, it's just way too different. And they can lie about how many people in the country love football and go to games, but the truth is, we've seen it. Look at last night. Barcelona playing Osasuna. Loads of empty seats. And I mean loads of empty seats inside that stadium. In that part of the world, I should say. I just don't see it. I don't get it. It doesn't make any sense to me. And I think it's going to fail. Crap competition, nowhere near the level of player coaching. Exactly. And it's kind of catch-22 situation, because you need the infrastructure in place. You need to build it up over a long period of time. But to do that, you have to put the proper foundations in. You can't just shortcut your way to it. I wonder when they're going to launch the Saudi Women's Pro League, though. I'm looking forward to that. Same with all the boxing fights. It's been lovely seeing all the heavyweight boxers over in Saudi, but I'd love to see a couple of the women's fights over there. Katie Taylor, maybe Chantel Cameron, Natasha Jonas, Michaela Meyer, Baumgartner. Loads of these. Any word on any of those fights taking place in that part of the world? Of course not. Now you start to see why a lot of things aren't going to work, right? Because we don't live back in times where we can just overlook things like that. Now, I know that, there was a lot of talk about Ronaldo when he went over there and stuff as well, but let's be honest, he was limiting options, because it's not really like he was going to the MLS, so can't go to the MLS, he had to go somewhere to get the pension, and, Neymar's another greedy little shit who ran over for a payday, so I find it all funny, to be honest.